one of the first things that Maryland Governor Wes Moore committed the state to upon assuming office was an aggressive goal of involving the sale of, you got it, electric vehicles. Now, a recent opinion poll found that, get this, 60%, that's 60, that's a big majority of Marylanders oppose the plan to mandate electrical vehicle sales by 2035. And that means no new gas engine cars can be sold after 2035. Mike, shockingly, this is the even bigger story. 54% of the opponents stated they opposed the decision if it meant going against the holy grail of environmentalism and reduced carbon dioxide emissions. Are you surprised by the result?
Not really. I mean, I think this is still a fundamental sea change for many people. And I mean, I think it becomes an element of practicality. I think there are lofty goals and there are aspirations that we hope to achieve. But I think at the end of the day, there's still a lot of people who are trying to figure out, I got to drive a car to get from point A to point B. And we've got a lot of folks who have to drive a long way. And I'm not convinced yet or understand the technology well enough yet to know if I get someplace, can I actually get back? And I think it's that simple. Show me that the technology is there and show me that this works. And I think people are still trying to get accustomed to that. And I'm not surprised at all. I think it's a real fundamental sea change for many people.
Well, here, of course, I'm the contrarian here. I mean, I am appalled that the state of Maryland sacrificed its sovereignty to the state of California on this issue, and that we alone are just going to go meekly following California into the Pacific Ocean. This is nuts. Mark, many believed, and I think Mike touched on this, that there are insufficient sources to supply electricity if such a mandate is enforced.
Well, that's true. I think what we're seeing is sticker shock. And I'm not, you referenced the 60% number. It's going to go up when people have to take into account the costs associated, the difference between an electric vehicle and a gas-powered vehicle, and the cost of electricity and the inconvenience of charging. We need to have a more forthright conversation about what are the most effective ways of dealing economically, effective ways of dealing with climate change. Too often the conversation has been framed of everybody on the one side is a denier, and on the other side you have to adopt whatever the brainstorm they've come up with latest in California. And there is a middle ground that reflects the fact of what's the most effective way of making that transition. How do we take into account the fact that China is not doing anything, and what we do in Maryland is being dwarfed by what's being done in a single city in China? Well,
here's the exit question. Put yourself in Philadelphia in the 1789. Can you imagine Adams, Jefferson, Franklin saying what color horse you have to ride, that you can only ride quarter horses, not thoroughbreds? I mean, my goodness, this is insanity what our legislators are doing.
Well, but the other thing that's really interesting is where the market itself is going. I continue to be amazed at how the auto industry is transitioning. And I'm very curious to see if we go back 15 years and see where we were with electric vehicles at that point, where we are today and where the markets are going. Part of it is as a policy piece, part of it are the markets themselves. And I think we're going to be in a very interesting place over the next 5 to 7 years. And I'm curious to see what it is. I don't know how it'll play out, but I think markets will help drive this too.
Well, here's the last word on this, and I'm going to take it. Toyota, the largest manufacturer of vehicles in the world, is not going all in on electric because hybrid vehicles produce better emission results than do electric vehicles.